Well, I think for our perspective, when we focused on the retail use cases, we look at this from three angles. One, trying to assist people within the store space, either associates or consumers. So if it's finding items quickly or driving them through the transaction with as less friction as possible, then looking at the whole store in terms of operations, front end operations, how we drive people within the estate, and then inventory and lost revenue opportunities that drive additional ROIs there as well. So I think that when you started talking about the retail on the media in general, on bringing the content to the forage, that's a big deal there. So I think from that perspective, for my biggest challenge here is the ability for us to deploy and experiment very quickly. That is a very unique feature. Different types of lenses, different types of sensors, different types of computes that are meaningful to that specific area. I don't have to have a 30 tops device to do produce recognition. So I can basically daisy chain or sensor fusion across different components. So I start capturing images or videos at the end and then doing specific use cases on them and then passing on that data to stronger machines that can do other things in that estate.
Absolutely. And I think it's all about once you have the use case nailed down, you'll come to pretty much everyone would come to the same conclusion. You don't need massive cloud scale horsepower. What you really need is instant, low latency, real time inferencing on that data to make actual decisions. You don't really need to carry the baggage of every data that is generated. And just to put some numbers, right? A simple full HD camera, if it's streaming 24/7, it will generate anywhere from half a terabyte to a terabyte of data over a period of 4 weeks or a month. And if you are a warehouse style store, that multiplies. To be able to deal with that scale of data, if you're already processing that data on the edge, you already took care of that complexity right then and there on the edge. And now you're only dealing with metadata going out, which is much more manageable, much more lighter for any kind of scalable system or solution that you're building.
And not only that, but to add on top of that, the fact that we can do all of that on the edge, if we have PII data that's relevant or needs to be eliminated for someone, for example, we have the solution running in hospitals where we're not allowed to capture any person or capture any data. We make sure that the model that runs on the edge validate that there's no one there, no human, nothing that resembles any personal information that's gathered.
Privacy is very native to edge, and any use cases where privacy is a must-have, there's no other alternative than running that on the edge. You cannot do face blur after the data is on the cloud. You want to do it up front. You want to blur the license plate information or any other kind of PII. That needs to happen before that leaves the device, before that leaves the premises. The only place to really do that is where you captured the data. So those use cases lend itself beautifully to this edge AI part.
Agreed. So we talked about what we do together, what we're trying to achieve, how we change retail, but let's focus on what does Qualcomm bring to the table here, and how do you bring your technology here to that system?
Yeah. So taking a step back, right? Qualcomm, we develop the best and the fastest mobile phones. We launched the first co-pilot powered PC. We are powering the next generation XR VR roadmap, and now wearable devices. The common denominator across all of these devices, and the reason I bring this up, is low power, high performance compute. You won't be able to build an XR glass, a very small form factor compact camera like the one you have, if you had to put a massive heat sink into it. So this is something which it's in Qualcomm's DNA across the board, and we get to leverage that and bring this to retail. What we are able to do is we have a very broad portfolio of devices that are built on the very same principles, built on the DNA of low power, high performance compute, always on connectivity. And then based on your requirements, you can scale from something that's a very small 1 TOP all the way to 100 TOPs and everything in between. To enable a use case like this, it's not just AI. You need the multimedia pipeline around it. You need encode, decode, which Toshiba understands very well. And to be able to do that, you need all of these blocks hardware accelerated. So that is where you get the low power from. It's not just a buzzword. To do that, you have specialized hardware accelerators in silicon for every single function, not just AI. Encoding, decoding, All of these are hardware accelerated. That's where you get the best possible performance you can at the low power envelope, the thermal envelope that you're desiring for your device to work on. And that is what we are bringing to industrial and retail world from our standpoint.
On top of that, you do give us the ability to have different connectivity solutions, if it's wireless, if it's broadband, networking, security, and others as well.
Yes, that's inherent. So like I said, AI is one piece of it. There needs to be thousand other things that you need to check to make a form factor device. It needs to connect. It needs to have, even for AI, it needs to have pre and post processing. To be able to do all of that very efficiently is the key to be able to make a very compact and very powerful device like this.
We take the technology that you bring us and then we adapt the models and build our models with multiple hours and hours of training to, again, assist cashiers, assist shoppers, provide benefits in shelf inventory, movement within the store space, prediction, and across that, again, because we're quite large in this retail space and the expertise that we bring to the table here, that scalability within that retail growing multiple use cases.
And I have to say, you are a channel to that information. You talk to retailers, you talk to these end customers. We as a silicon vendor don't get this opportunity. So you are our eyes and ears on the ground, and you are the ones bringing these use cases, at times translating these to a technical problem statement, working with us, and then it becomes a technical challenge for us, which we have a lot of ammunition to go after.